I graduated college at 25. I found my first job in Big Four consulting at 27. I was a private equity real estate director at 29. I achieved in 30 months a transformation that on average takes 15 years. One key habit made it all possible. Let's get to it. Hey, I'm Leon, CEO and founder of Selfmastered, a peak performance training company that transforms entrepreneurs into elite performers that can achieve in one day what they previously achieved in 1 week. I've coached and trained hundreds of entrepreneurs and invested in 37 of them. The truth is, this habit is simpler than you think. It is insanely effective, costs nothing, and nobody is doing it. In fact, just a few people teach it, but absolutely nobody does it. So there's massive leverage in anyone that puts it to good use. And this habit is collecting feedback on your performance, managing your career by the numbers. Remember that movie called Moneyball, in which they use a computer system to extract data over the player's performance and then draft a team that was able to compete against much larger teams? So it's the same principle, but instead of looking at how to build a perfect team using data, it's about how you can become better over time collecting data and feedback on your own performance. So instead of looking at batting averages, I was looking at a series of KPIs that I have setting for myself that over time compounded and made me a dangerous force in my career. Things like how many hours had I spent in flow on any given week? What was the average output? How many things was I able to compete on any given day? How many times have I spent doing deep work? All that stuff. I was tracking everything related to my productivity, but also to every health protocol and routine and habit that I was following. So I could correlate whether if I slept 8 hours, how did my productivity got affected? If I drank the night before and just slept 4 hours, how bad was my performance the following day? Doing this over the years gave me the ability to predict how good my performance was going to be based on the inputs that I have been putting. I call this data-driven performance optimization, and it sits at the core of what makes Selfmastered approach to peak performance training so unique. See, most performance coaches believe that performance is purely either a physical thing or a mental thing. So you have the fitness coaches that label themselves as peak performance and high performance, that what they essentially do is dial in the nutrition and exercise protocols of their clients. That helps them have more energy in their day-to-day, which helps with focus. So I'm not saying it doesn't work, I'm saying it's just not pure high performance. It is fitness that has a mental performance consequence. On the other side, you have the mindset coaches, which can be sports psychologists or just mindset coaches, that they work on the worldview and the mindset and how the coachee looks at the world. Both approach the physical and the mental work to some extent, but in my experience, they do not provide a long-lasting personal transformation. At least they do not create progress that is easily perceptible, which is why using data is the killer app to fully understand whether you're making progress or you're not making progress. Because you can fool yourself. You can fall for the placebo effect. You can believe that you're actually progressing, but if the numbers do not say so, that means you are effectively not making progress. In order to gather that data, I invented a system that is as simple as it gets, but yields massive results. I built a tool that I call the Selfmastered Dashboard, in which I devote 5 to 10 minutes a day, no more, to get data on these key KPIs. Today, in 2022, what I'm mostly tracking is hours spent in flow, overall output, and I also track how does my performance relate to my execution, because performance plus execution equals results. So my results are depending on the execution side of things and the performance side of things. Execution is measured as leverage. So how much leverage am I able to capture? How much impact does each task that I work on has? And on the performance side of things is how much focus. So leverage plus focus equals results. That's what I'm tracking in 2022. And I do so in a simple spreadsheet with macros, so nothing too fancy. We're building an app at this point, but you don't need an app. You just need to be conscientious about the nature of the work that you are performing on any given day, and then try to become better. Try to up your standards week on week so you know for a fact that you are progressing. Because listen, most entrepreneurs have this up and down fluctuating performance. They work 12-hour day, in which some days they're at top of the game and others they are in the bottom of the ocean. There's no continuity, there's no consistency in high performance. Yet elite entrepreneurs, the ones that we train, the ones that we help get to the next level, do not work 12 hours days. In fact, they work 5, 6, or 7 hours at most. So how can they have outsized returns on their time invested? Because they're constantly using our process to trim down their to-do list, to do as few things as possible, but do so with the highest level of focus and the highest level of leverage that they can create. Daily performance gain compound very quickly. You can go from 0 to dangerous in a very short amount of time if you are tracking the correct KPIs. So if you are now stuck feeling that you're not performing at the level you should, ask yourself, are you actually collecting data on how good your performance is? If the answer is no, I suggest you start as soon as possible. You can build your own tool, you can jump on our program and we'll give you a tool that works, or you can have some sort of makeshift arrangement using apps like Rescue Time or Rise. Whatever the approach you choose, please start collecting data on how well you are performing, because this is the shortcut that you have been looking for. If I was able to go from zero, from architect to private equity real estate director in a London-based investment fund in 30 months, it means that I was onto something. It means that this thing works, because I didn't take 15 years. I took 30 months. So I hope this video was useful. Please let me know in the comments if you follow any system that helps you collect data on your performance. And of course, if you want a proven tool to make 2023 the best year ever for you, jump on a call with us. Cheers.